Seeing the classic Disney princesses hits us with a serious sense of nostalgia. But while we love these iconic Disney characters, there are a lot of aspects from their source material which haven't exactly aged well. Even celebrities who have voiced Disney characters such as Kristen Bell have a long list of princesses they have banned their kids from watching. Before we get into which Disney movies have been banned in celeb households, take a moment to click on the subscribe button for more from the taco. Let's get started. Now, we're not saying we don't love Disney movies or that we didn't want to grow up to be like our favorite Disney princesses. We would still love to have a library like Belle's from Beauty and the Beast, or for our wet hair to look as stylish as Ariel's. But there's no denying that many Disney stories are pretty problematic. Dumbo deals with themes of animal abuse, drunkenness, and we aren't even going to start talking about those crows. So it's not surprising that many parents take issues with their children being exposed to these types of movies, and celebrities are no exception. Kristen Bell provided the voice acting talent for Princess Anna for the movie Frozen, but that doesn't mean all Disney movies get a pass in her book. She loves sharing the magic of Disney with her daughters Lincoln and Delta, but she admits she has to keep an open dialogue about the issues of consent. Belle points out that Snow White accepting food from a stranger is problematic, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. She's troubled by the scene where the prince kisses a sleeping Snow White without her consent. In the story, it's seen as an act of romance which saves the beautiful princess, but in real life it would be beyond creepy. Belle believes it's important to have an ongoing dialogue with her children about how the media they consume relates to the real world.
APA actually recommends to try to stave off television until 2.5.
Keira Knightley portrayed Elizabeth Swann in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, loosely based on the Disney park ride of the same name. She's also the Sugar Plum Fairy in the Disney movie The Nutcracker and the Four Realms. But she too has some critical things to say about some classic Disney movies. The movie Cinderella is flat out banned in her household because Knightley finds the entire premise of the movie troublesome. Cinderella finds herself in an unpleasant situation, and instead of taking matters into her own hands, she passively waits around for other people to help her. Her fairy godmother gives her a makeover, and then it's up to the handsome prince to rescue her. While Cinderella is considered a classic piece of Disney history, we can definitely see not wanting to teach kids they should wait for someone to save them. It's an especially stark contrast to some more modern, active Disney heroines, including Mulan and Moana. The second Disney movie banned in Keira Knightley's household is The Little Mermaid. Despite this, Knightley admits she banned it reluctantly since it's such an enjoyable movie. But she just can't get behind the message of giving up your own voice in order to pursue a man.
You'll have your looks, your pretty face, and don't underestimate the importance of body language.
Knightley confesses she loves the songs of the movie, but she just can't get behind the way Ariel goes about wooing Prince Eric. And of course, there's the part where 16-year-old Ariel proclaims she's not a child anymore.
Daddy, I love him!
That scene certainly seems different when watching it as an adult, doesn't it? Overall, Knightley seems to have an issue with how women are expected to appear in society, and not just when it comes to the big screen. She's spoken out about Kate Middleton's carefully cultivated public appearances following the births of her children. She wrote an essay called The Weaker Sex, in which she expressed unhappiness that Middleton was expected to appear pristine in public hours after delivering her daughter, Princess Charlotte. Knightley claimed this was a far cry from reality and a dangerous message to send to other women. But there are plenty of Disney movies which Knightley does approve of. Some of her favorite positive messages from movies are Frozen, Moana, and Finding Dory. Even though Disney makes a big deal about their princesses and makes a huge amount of money off of their merchandise, there is still a pretty huge problem in the films. Even in movies where female characters are the stars, they still talk less than their male counterparts. And ironically, classic movies like Cinderella tend to be more balanced. Kristen Bell may have some issues with Snow White, but men and women have equal amounts of dialogue in the movie. Female characters also speak more in Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty. The Disney Renaissance movies, which came out in the 1980s and 1990s, are a bit more troublesome. Men talk 68% of the time in The Little Mermaid, but maybe that one gets a pass since Ariel can't speak for half the movie. Men speak 71% of the time in Beauty and the Beast, 76% in Pocahontas, 77% in Mulan, and 90% in Aladdin. Let's just think about Mulan, in which the epically courageous Mulan saves all of China, and women still barely speak in the movie. Movies from this era often feature larger casts compared to the classic Disney movies. While we do get a princess, the vast majority of the other characters are all males. It seems kind of backwards, doesn't it? These movies were analyzed by researchers Carmen Fott from Pitzer College and Karen Eisenhower from North Carolina State University. Eisenhower believes that male characters are seen as the default for whatever reason, which is why so many non-princess characters are all male. And in case you're wondering about more modern Disney movies, things have gotten better, but they still have a long way to go. Men still dominate the conversations in The Princess and the Frog and Frozen, although it's pretty even and tangled. Brave attributes 74% of its dialogue to women, but Disney still have a long way to go in order to make things more equal. And it isn't just girls who can be affected by the way Disney princesses are portrayed. Alicia Keys has 2 sons named Egypt and Genesis, and she believes it's her responsibility to teach them to view women realistically. She stated, "Women are brainwashed into feeling like we have to be skinny or sexy or desirable or perfect. One of the many things I was tired of was the constant judgment of women. While the unrealistically slender waistlines and magical hair of Disney princesses may be an accepted part of pop culture, Keys isn't here for it. She wants to teach her sons that women are about so much more than the way they look. Because of this, classic Disney movies are on the ban list in her household." She also cites Snow White as a particularly problematic film. She declared that it's totally sexist and misogynistic, and she takes issue with Snow White cleaning up after the 7 dwarves. Keys doesn't think there's anything wrong with women being homemakers, but she doesn't approve of how it's portrayed in the movie. Mayim Bialik is known for her role on The Big Bang Theory and for being outspoken with her opinions. She isn't afraid to share her parenting opinions with the world or speak negatively about one of the most popular Disney movies of all time. Frozen has received a lot of praise for not being a standard cookie-cutter Disney movie where a hapless heroine is saved by a handsome prince. But Bialik doesn't think it sets a good example and claims her children agree with her. She even made a blog post entitled, "Why My Sons and I Hate the Movie Frozen." Come on, Bialik, tell us how you really feel. She claims the movie had a constant theme of male bashing and cites the scheming Prince Hans.
"If only there was someone out there who loved you."
Bialik stated that this teaches children not to trust men because they will double-cross you to further their own goals. She doesn't care for the portrayal of women in the movie any better, claiming that Princess Anna's sense of identity is too wrapped up in finding a man to settle down with. She also found the all-too-perfect appearances of Elsa and Anna problematic. In fact, the only positive thing she had to say about the movie was she and her children enjoy the colors of the movie and the snowman Olaf. Mayim Bialik acknowledged that her unpopular opinion of the movie might lose her some fans, but it definitely isn't a movie she is happy to sign off on as a parent. But while some celebrity parents happily condemn some beloved Disney classics, others disagree. TV personality and model Holly Willoughby believes calling Disney movies sexist is insulting.
Is it not insulting to suggest that a woman as she grows older can't differentiate between fact and fiction?
Following comments by celebs such as Kristen Bell and Keira Knightley, Willoughby stepped up to defend some of our favorite Disney princesses. Like many of us, Willoughby claims Disney has had a positive impact on her life, and she even named her daughter Belle after the princess from Beauty and the Beast. She claims these movies were a huge part of her childhood, and she still managed to grow up into an independent and empowered woman. Differentiating fact from fiction is an important life skill, and Willoughby believes it's insulting to suggest people take Disney movies too seriously. While she acknowledges that Prince Charming isn't real, she believes women can find their own versions of an ideal partner with desirable characteristics. With that in mind, is it really so crazy to suggest there is something wonderful and romantic about finding someone you want to spend your life with? She notes that the men in the Disney movies treat the princesses well, and that's something we can all appreciate in a romantic partner. Fans were too quick to stand up for Disney classics and even labeled Kristen Bell a hypocrite for taking a paycheck from Disney while criticizing Snow White. They claim the actress is too obsessed with being politically correct and point out that the attempted assassination of Snow White by the evil queen is much more distressing. While we can definitely see why some of the older Disney movies are problematic, the good news is that things seem to be moving in a positive direction. When the live-action Beauty and the Beast movie was released, fans were excited to see that Belle had been reimagined as an inventor, further highlighting the fact that she's both beauty and brains. But unfortunately, one more modern aspect of the movie meant overseas audiences may not get a chance to see it. In the animated movie, we saw LeFou positively fawning over Gaston, and many wondered if he saw him as more than a friend. In the live-action Beauty and the Beast, LeFou being gay is much more obvious, and he even shared a dance with another man. We know it's pretty shocking, or at least it was to some audiences. In Russia, the film was released with a 16+ rating, meaning many children will likely never get a chance to see it. Malaysia tried to censor the movie, but relented when Disney threatened not to let them show it at all. Kuwait, however, outright banned the entire movie. Disney movies hold a special place in the hearts of many people because they are captivating to both children and adults alike. Many of us grew up with Disney movies, and we still look forward to seeing their latest cinematic offerings. And when you consider how obsessed many people are with the British royal family, it seems as though some of us never grow out of our love of princesses. Keira Knightley criticized the way Kate Middleton was expected to appear after having her children, but for some reason fans just keep watching. Think about how many eyes were on Meghan Markle when she married into the royal family. Sure, she was given the title of Duchess and not Princess, but when she married Prince Harry, it sure looked like her fairy tale dream was coming true. Even members of the royal family admit to being captivated by the same Disney movies we loved growing up. Prince Harry claims his favorite Disney movie is The Lion King, while Meghan Markle adores The Little Mermaid. It seems that when the Duke and Duchess of Sussex welcome their first child, there won't be any Disney movies banned from their film collection. What do you think of the legacy of the Disney princesses? Are they essential parts of pop culture, or are they too troublesome to be ignored? Tell us what you think about the portrayal of Disney princesses in the comments section, and click on the subscribe button for more videos from the Taco. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.